first this morning, some help for those social situations that can be a bit tricky.
Etiquette expert Aimee Symington is here to answer your questions. Hi, Aimee.
Hello.
We are set to go.
All right, let's get through these questions.
Etiquette, here we come. Our first two questions actually deal with entertaining. That's what they deal with. Emma asks, when you have a dinner party, how do you politely ask guests to leave when it gets late?
Yeah, I mean, that can be really tricky. A couple of suggestions here. One is that when you send out the invitation or when you ask somebody to come, say, we're going to have dinner from 9 to 10. And then when the guest is still sitting there at 10:30, hopefully they'll figure it out and they'll leave. Now, if they look really comfortable at 11 and it looks like they're not going to go anywhere, there's a couple of options. What I would suggest is maybe look at your watch. Can you believe it's 11 o'clock already? I've had the best time tonight, but unfortunately I have to get up early tomorrow morning for my son's soccer game.
Okay.
If that doesn't work, then you could try the tidying up in the kitchen. And hopefully the guests will get their cue.
You can put on your pajamas and just go up to bed. You could do that too.
Right.
Okay, our next question also has to do with entertaining, as we mentioned. Linda wants to know, how do you handle your guests bringing their extended family with them for a cookout or a gathering at your home? It's happened more than once to me. Aimee, what do you do when you invite people and they bring other people with them?
Well, I think you should need to be really clear on who's invited. So, for example, I might say, hey, Rob, why don't you come on over for dinner, bring your wife. I've gotten a babysitter for my kids so that they can be entertained, and we can just sit and relax and not have to worry about kids.
You've met my kids.
Anyway, and then hopefully they would get the picture, oh, I can't bring my children with me. It's just for adults.
Okay, that's very good.
Okay, makes sense. The next set of questions are concerning parents. Dion says, my son plays soccer for his school, and we have traveled to 2 different schools where the parents of the other team have called our team players names and have been very unsportsmanlike.
Well, I'm glad she wrote in that question, because that's something that really irritates me. I mean, as parents, we are responsible for teaching our children to be a good sport, to show respect to others, and also to control our emotions. I mean, these are essential lessons that we have to get through to our children. And if we're not the role model for that, you know, then we really do have a problem. So parents out there, I think you need to be good sports.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm surprised to hear that the parents were calling the kids names.
Shocking.
That seems unusual to me. But the next question is from Dana. Dana wants to know, how do you get stepchildren to use manners in your home without coming across as the wicked stepmom?
Well, first of all, I would say teaching your children manners is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. But it can be tricky, and I think it's the approach that matters. I think if anybody yells and screams and nags at their kids, you know, they're going to resist wanting to learn manners. But I would recommend that they get the husband involved, the children's father, to sit down and ask the children, why do you think manners are important? Get them to talk about, well, you know, this is why I think it's important, and oh, when I do have good manners, Grandma takes me out to dinner, and I get invited over to my friend's house to spend the night more often, and, you know, all of the real benefits. And then you can say, well, in our house, we would love you to show the best manners and respect and kindness to each other and to us. Have nice table manners, because we want those great things for you. And approach it in that way.
All right, let's move on to tipping, because everybody's always asking about tipping. Julie wants to know exactly how much should you tip your hairdresser? Does it depend on the type of service they're giving you, or what?
Well, the standard is 15 to 20% is what you would tip. If you have a separate person who shampoos your hair, then they get a couple of dollars. But I'd also say this, I mean, tipping is something that you have to be pleased with the service that you get to tip. It doesn't have to be mandatory that you tip. Also, if you're going to go get a $15 haircut, you probably want to tip 20%, because that's just $3. If you go and get a $100 haircut, well, $20 for a tip is a lot, and that, you know, is really hard with people's budget. So then you could even tip, you know, 10 to 15%.
10 to 15% if it's an expensive haircut, and then tip the shampoo person too, and a couple dollars is okay.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's a different segment, again, tipping, because I have lots of questions about tipping during the holidays. So we'll have you back to talk about that.
That sounds great.
Okay, Aimee, thanks so much. Aimee will be holding several etiquette workshops next month entitled Modern Manners for the Digital Age. Modern Manners for the Digital Age. It's for children from the ages of 4 to 17. For more information or to register, go to blundersmania.com/workshops. Again, blundersmania.com/workshops, or call Successful Kids at 704 704-564-6502. Again, that number 704-564-6502. Aimee Symington, thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Aimee.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.